stress. Stress, stress, and work stress. You will develop some form of health issue. So people always are exposed to stress. And do you know what? Worry has been linked to most diseases that are heart-related. Many times you go to the hospital, they check you, they check back, check you, everything is fine. We can't see anything. The last thing they will say is, watch your stress level. Watch your stress level. Ensure that you are not going stress. Stress is been known to lead to heart diseases, cancer, lung ailment, and suicide. Someone once said that ulcers are not caused by what you eat, but by what is eating you. Not what you eat, but what is eating you. It's an article that I just read out to you. A woman became so worried, that he kept on going to the GP. I don't want to have cancer. I don't want to have cancer. She's not had cancer. She's not developed cancer. She doesn't have any related thing that appears to be cancer, but she keeps on going. The woman said, you don't have cancer. There's no sign, nothing in you. Do you know what killed that woman? Not cancer, heart attack. She was so worried that she developed heart diseases until she had heart failure. Now, I've shared this, I think, in 800A. On a bank holiday weekend, some guys who were working in a cold room were there working, and they just shot. They were going to have an extended day. Monday was going to be a bank holiday. They didn't know that they had locked up one guy in the cold room. The man was there, sweating. They locked me in the cold room. I'm going to that. When they went back on the Tuesday, they opened, the guy was dead. They couldn't understand because the cold room was not put on. It was normal temperature. But the guy's mental, what we call auto-suggestion. You know, when we're growing up, I teach this when I teach about wealthy ways. When we're growing up, there are many things that we picked up. That when something happens to us, our mental obligata will be saying to you, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. So if you hear, run, everybody will be running. There's nothing to chase you. That's why those who play pranks, they get away with many things. You know, someone will be going, and suddenly, we'll just be running. Everybody in that neighborhood will be running helter-skelter. And the guy will come back and say, it's auto-suggestion tells you to do things that are not necessary because you have been brought up with such thinking. That's why Jesus said, do not worry. Do not worry. Don't worry. Because if you worry, you will not be a warrior, but a warrior. Another thing I pulled out from an article is the second reason why we worry. It minimizes our effectiveness. It minimizes our effect. We are no longer effective when we carry the weight of worry. There was a man who moved to a country to get away from the stress of the city. A village, that's what a country is also. His new neighbor had some chickens. The rooster was a problem. He disturbed the man's sleep with his loud crowing. Crowing, is it? When he complained to his neighbor, the man next door said, it's not that of a big deal. He only crows at first light. You know, when we're in our country, you hear kokoroko. Especially when it's raining and you are just on your third gear. Kokoroko. Many chickens have lost their life. Before you do kokoro, pew. So the man says he crows only at first light. The man said, That may be, but if you only knew how I suffer waiting for him to crow. Is that not deep? Some of these days you need to read something that is not the Bible. Just go and read a book that is full of worry people and stress people. The man has structured himself that not only the noise, but his timing. Are you following this? When we moved to Stevenage, someone said, in Stevenage, in winter, there's something that makes noise. It's an animal. It makes noise at night, about 3 a.m. And our house is just by the park. That it makes noise. I will go through Great Ashby. We'll go through Great Ashby. And we'll be saying, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. That everybody that lives in Great Ashby, that village, hears that voice. And I say, which one is this? Hey, oh. So we stay there. When it got to that period, I also heard, hey, oh. When I say, hey, oh, you say, hey, oh. Hey, oh. Hey, oh. Hey, oh. Hey, oh. Okay. So when the thing say, hey, oh, I will say, hey, oh. And the rest was perfect rhyme. And I became worried. We just bought this beautiful house, and it's AO that I will be singing. One week I just said, next summer, you won't do AO. If you like, do AO, I won't answer you. That was the last I heard of it. Many things worry us for nothing. It makes us ineffective. So if I was doing AO during the night, how would I wake up to go and work? Because I would have lost my sleep. Is someone following me? Worry leads to ill health. Worry leads us to ineffectiveness. We anticipate negative things because, again, it's the way we're brought up. You are brought up that a man is not responsible, that men are scammers, men are bad, men are... You will have that understanding. When you get into marriage, that is the picture you will get. If you were brought up with, women, they have a way of sharing your money and keeping their own money. Before you do it, after 5 years, your wife has built up 3 or 4 houses are still under one roof. And one day, you are sweeping the house, and behind the locker, you found titles. And it's only Mrs. You say, hey, this is what my mom told me. Your mom told you a lie. There are over 4 billion women on the surface of the earth. Only few of them do that scamming thing. So don't stereotype anybody. Oh, the Yorubas are like this. Oh, the Igbos are like this. Oh, the Hausas are like this. Oh, this is... No, nobody is like anybody. It's our negative mental manners that make us to feel someone is like this. So you won't go and do business with this person. You won't go and do business with this person. Then you mess up your life, and then at the end of the day, you can't really make anything. So negativity that is brought up by worry destroys our peace and minimizes our effective. The third reason that we shouldn't worry is that it's a sin. It's a sin. Because it takes over our lives. When we are obsessed with worries. Like I shared in the first part of this message, the worry when you start school, your parents are worried. Will they finish? Will they finish? You get to university, they are worried. You go on to marry. Will they marry? Will they marry? Will she marry? Will they marry? They are worried. They marry. Will they have children? Will they have children? They have children. You then move to their house to be looking after. So, worry all your life. So, if you are not careful, you make worry your life pattern, and then sin enters. Don't forget, I mentioned Job. Job said, this thing that I fear so much, Is someone following me? Is someone following me? Worry can be obsessive. Worry is telling God, I don't trust you. Worry is saying, you can't take care of my needs. Whereas God says in Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added. Jesus said in Matthew 6, do not worry for today. So the day you are obsessed with worry, you are saying, God is not faithful, God cannot be trusted, God cannot take care of my needs. Our flesh with pride rises up when we are worried. It's a proud thing to be worried. I will then share the testimony I said I would share. I said to myself, this Thanksgiving service, I just want Thanksgiving in church. The next day, Cancun, Mexico, I wanted a private intimacy with 3 generations. Myself, my wife, my children, and then our grandchild. I've had that in my mind. Thank God for men who also came together to add their own. So, we've had fun. And on that day that I was going to make the way, it was supposed to be a surprise, I was moving my stuff. Because of the marquee that will be at the back, I saw that the church was locked, so I went to park on Church Lane. I parked. I saw my wallet. Inside the wallet is a pouch they give you if you travel the way I travel. So my wallet, my passport was there, my license was also there, and my cards. With my suitcase and my shoe, I thought I brought them here. I opened the door. I went upstairs. I put the stuff on my desk, and I said, where's my wallet? Where's that pouch? Where's that pouch? I dropped it. I ran more than the fastest man on earth downstairs to my car. Couldn't find it. Search. Ran up there again. Couldn't find it. Checked the toilet. Even where I did not pass, I checked. I went back. And the event was going to start about 8. They said, don't arrive until 8:15. So I was saying to myself, I'll be late. Then the worry of I'll be late, plus the worry of my pouch. And it dawned on me suddenly that my passport was inside my driver's license, and we're traveling on Monday. That was Friday. All hell broke loose. I share this with you that anytime I want to have a milestone like that, I tend to lose something. I don't know why. I was going up. So I wanted to cancel, if you draw something in Edmonton, God save you, unless angels pick them up. Immediately that happened, I wanted to cancel my cards. I didn't know how to. I opened the thing, everything was blank. I wanted to cancel. I was saying, how do I cancel this thing again? The thing was there, manage your card, and I couldn't see it. I called my daughter. I said, how do you do it? I called Bookie. How do you cancel this again? How do you do it? I was confused because of worry. I even cried. It was my wife that said, don't worry. I thought I'd let my children down. And look, three things I don't want to let down. Myself, my wife and children, and the church. There are many things I wish I could do, rascal things, naughty things. But when I think of myself and my wife, I think of the children, I think of the church. I said, no, I'm not doing it. I even cried. I said, why is this thing? Worry. Don't forget, I just taught part 1 of worry. Today is when I will tell you how to get out of worry. So the devil tested me. Look, the devil will come at you at what you think is your strength. And pastors face that every time. When pastors preach, so that's why I don't preach what I've not overcome. devil will come and try. The devil will come and try you. You dare go in front of people and say you are this, you are that. The devil will say, let me try. Just like he did for Job. Couldn't find it. Eventually, I just said, why am I worried? Why am I worried? I will find it. I'll find it. I began to confess positivity. Then the scale fell off my eye and I saw manage card. How to freeze your card, how to cancel your card, how to ask for another. What I was there sitting that I couldn't do. About 10 minutes ago, I began to see. So I canceled, I did everything. The event that evening, once in a while, the devil will say to me, "You are not traveling to Cancun. You are not going anywhere." I'll just take my mind off it. Grand events, beautiful events, the thing will come, you are not going. Sunday, when we came here, still could not find my passport. My children came to the house, we searched our car 3 times, took my car to the dry cleaner, to the car wash place. They searched it, couldn't find it. Throughout that service, the devil will come to me. What a nice service. For the crown jewel, Cancun, you are not going. Can't go to Cancun. Is someone following me? Very important what I'm teaching you, especially at this time. You say you got to get someone to propose to you, and you are still not finding a single man approach you. You are saying, I will buy my house this year. You've not even raised 500 pounds. You're saying to yourself, I must pass my driving test. You've done 4 times and you failed 4 times. In fact, the driving instructor failed you the 5th time for coughing. You look at your marriage, you say, this marriage is not going anywhere. So all those things will come because Jesus did not promise us free hand. He said, in this world, it's in this world, on this side of the realm, that you will face persecution. The devil will challenge, especially if you're born again. That's why I say to people, look, I want you to come to church. Not because I just want you to come to church, because, the church gives us some form of, I see you, you are nicely dressed, you see me, I'm poorly dressed, and then we find fun, we do fellowship, and before you know it, worry has gone. Didn't find my passport. Up till today, I've not found my passport. The next day, my children applied for me. They troubled that woman in the passport office. By the time I started calling, the machine would say to me, you have called several times today. Why my children? But the lowest time was, because I said we missed that flight. We rebooked, pay a lot of money. And I wanted my children and my wife to go. They said no. So Wednesday, I packed my luggage. I was going to use faith. They went to Gatwick. I was in Victoria. Express from Victoria to is 30 minutes. The flight was 10:45. They opened at 7:30. I got there. In the cold. The first man I saw, his face was like an angry man. I said, sir, what time did they say? They don't open until 8:45. I said, but the website said 7:30. I said, that is just for people who want to know closing and passport collection, 8:45. I said, but I applied on Monday. He said, Monday, 7 whole days minimum. My family got on that board flight. It was even business class for them. Traveled. I sat in Victoria Station. And I came to the realization that this cannot just be physical. This must be spiritual. When I was entering secondary school, my dad took me to go and do exams for Ibadan Grammar School. We got to the exam hall. My dad had gone back home. I realized that I didn't take my exam candidate details. I didn't take it. I dare not say to my dad, I've not taken it. He will kill me. With what we call tummy sparkle. You know what tummy sparkle is? They give you and all your eyes will be seeing stars. So I did the exams. I just wrote a row with you there. So when the result came out, my father was forced to get there because he knew how brilliant I was. Couldn't find my name. Couldn't find the result. He spoke nonsense to the invigilators, and I was there. I was just gentle. I knew what happened. Till he died, I didn't share it with him. The devil is always tempting me. You heard my sister say on that day, I was playing with a snake. I was probably 1.5 years old, playing with a snake. Didn't know anything. I was in the hell of fire during political crisis. Fire was burning. They forgot me until my sister went back. You heard him say that. You heard her say that. That was secondary school. So I had to wait 1 year. This time, I tied my exam results. That's how I went to Olivet Baptist High School, not Ibadan Grammar School. When I finished, and my result was not released, my O-level result was not released. Everybody had gone to do A-levels, just me. It took 3 months after before they released my result. Do you know why? Because I had scored so much high result marks in English literature. I put the old mark bets down. So they released, they said, no man can do this. But they searched to and fro, they realized that I was just smart as a child. That's why they deleted it. Eventually, I got into Federal Government College because my result was just good. When I finished there, and I got into university, when we finished our results, we got our result, we went to celebrate. I had this accident. I've omitted almost about 2 or 3 mere accidents, mere this, mere that, because of time. Then, law school, I finished my law school, passed my exams, was driving my car. The law school celebration, you know, the grand one, call to bar, we call it, was going to be next week. We've collected all our things for our wig, our gown, our dinners, and all sorts. I put all the stuff on top of their car, entered the car, and drove off. One of the people that spoke about me, Mr. Abimbola, I went to beg him to borrow me or lend me his gown and wig. That photo that you see with wig and gown, that was not my own. So I've seen those patterns. Milestone. But one thing I always know is that I will overcome those terrible things. The aftermath is like heaven will just open. So when it was Abby who came to our house, and you know, she's a teaser, very sarcastic, very, very stubborn. She came, Papa, you've not seen your passport. If I've seen it, will I be in London? Papa. And Mama will be there. They will be waiting for you. How will they be feeling? They better start enjoying themselves. But she kept that fellowship I had with her. Relaxed me completely. Because of the things she was saying. Calmed me. She might not know, but she calmed me completely. I became aware of the fact that I'm a pastor, I'm a Christian, and I'm preaching on worry. So, gradually, I just began to gain confidence. I went ahead and canceled my flight. I said, God, you told me I'll be in Cancun. If I'm not going to be there, let's forget it. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to allow the devil to mess me around. Then, I began to move on to concern. Very, very important. When you begin to feel under, you begin to feel stressed, ask yourself, is this a concern or a worry? The devil can blind you. When your son or your daughter are not doing well, when your prayers are not being answered, most of the time it's more of you having concern. But the devil can hijack it from you and turn it into worry, and then distress, and then depression. So it was in that conversation that I recognized that he's concerned. I told them, continue to enjoy yourself. Mama refused to go out of the bedroom. She left on the Friday. She left on a Friday. I called the passport office, and the woman told me, we've told you several times, and you and your daughters, 7 days minimum. Today is the 4th day. So, the next morning, that same Friday, I was just speaking with my son-in-law, who had now become the man of the house. I was asking him, generally, they block me out of some of the enjoyment so that I won't start getting more worried. It had become a concern now. And as I was speaking with him, a text popped up on my phone. And I looked, TNT has a scheduled delivery of your passport today. Is someone following me? I think I will call you back. I saw it. Scheduled delivery today. When he moved away from worry into concern, which is natural to every man, every woman. It is concern that motorizes us to go and pray. When you don't pray, it becomes worry. So I said, that is it. I'm going. I booked my flight before the passport came. I went by the window. I crossed my... If I say, Daddy, go and take your bath. The TNT people will put it through. I said, no, they will come and deliver. I draw my blinds, crossed my leg, and I was looking at the streets. My house is on a private road, so you can't go east. That's the last house on that road, just 2 houses. So I just folded my hand. So when the man came, I saw him. I came out before he turned back. I came out. It's mine. Oh, it's mine. Collected my passport. I recorded myself. Oh, Tisha, oh, Baba Tisha, oh. That's how I found myself in Cancun. So, when you know how God deals with you, when you are not too, some of us, we are too powerful for God. We think it's our prayers, our fasting. We think it's our effort. We think it's everything that we know how to do. Whereas many of those who engage in those unnecessary righteousness, their prayers never passes the roof. God wants you to be a child. I told you, I wept. Not because of anything. We can go to Cancun anytime. I felt I let my children down. But my wife and my children, they did battle. One of my children said, when your challenges passes a cute prayer or something, cute one, you move away from cute prayer, you move to a warrior. The passport came, we are all back. Because the devil wants to make your life ineffective. The devil wants you to be the best so that he can show God that you are not truly the best. In 1 Peter 5, 6 to 8. 1 Peter, as I round up, 1 Peter 5, 6 to 8. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Many of us were already lifted. We're already high. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Be alert and be sober. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Our worries can lead us astray. They can give the devil an opportunity to get a foothold in our lives. Friends, let's focus on God rather than on God. Those things that are happening to you that you think, my children are doing, my marriage is like, this is that, this is that. No. We had Mother when she was giving a speech. She was referring to what I just shared. When she says, even last week, something still happened. Pastors don't have free, they don't have free marriage, nice marriage, nice life. No, it's because we are determined. We are leading some people. If we fail in the days of adversity, our strength is what? It's small. That's why I said, I must be there before everybody comes. Very bitingly cold today. My wife and I got into the car. We arrived here. Because I can't just not do things that will discourage you. That you can't point to me. If our pastor can do that, focus on God. Worry will fly. Don't focus on self. Worry will fly. Share your testimonies. Let people know that you are as ordinary as they are. But when it comes to the responsibility of a pastor, you take that responsibility serious. People will regard you horrible. That's right. There's a song I'll sing. It's in Yoruba. I hope. No mi sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, òní mi sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, ọ̀la mi á sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú ìjìnlẹ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, àná mi sọ̀rọ̀. Can the worship team come and help me? Ẹ ṣeun o, òní mi sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, ọ̀la mi á sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú ìjìnlẹ̀, ẹ ṣeun. One more time. Àná mi sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, òní mi sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, ọ̀la mi á sọ̀rọ̀, ẹ ṣeun o, ìjìnlẹ̀ nínú ìjìnlẹ̀, ẹ ṣeun o. For those who don't speak French, this is what it means. My yesterday speaks. My today speaks. My tomorrow will speak of the testimony of God. Thank you, O Lord. Thank you. Our lives should speak. When they saw the children, followers of Jesus in Antioch, they said, these are Christians. Our life should speak it. The circumstances of our life should not deny us. We should speak it. It should be shown in us. That's why that song just struck a chord. I know Mama sang it in the past year, but I want us to take it again. Say, my yesterday speaks. My today speaks. My tomorrow speaks. Can we sing it? No. If you have an issue of worry, of concern, of anything that is not letting you sleep, please come quickly. Let's come quickly to the front. Come quickly. Any issue of concern, open yourself to God. Open yourself to God.